What if I told you that the most successful version of yourself is being held hostage right now? Not by your circumstances, not by your bank account, but by something you can't even see. This is the story of Marcus Chen, a man who had everything until he realized he had nothing at all. Marcus Taylor was living the dream. At 32, he was the youngest director at his tech company, pulling in a six-figure salary, driving a Tesla, and living in a downtown penthouse that overlooked the city lights. His Instagram was a highlight reel of success, business meetings, exotic vacations, expensive dinners. But here's what the photos didn't show. They didn't show the 3 a.m. panic attacks. They didn't show him staring at his ceiling, heart racing, unable to remember the last time he'd slept through the night. They didn't show the fourth cup of coffee at 2 p.m. just to function, or the trembling hands he hid under the conference table during presentations. "I'm fine," he'd tell himself. "Successful people push through. This is just what it takes to win." For 3 years, Marcus ignored every signal his mind and body sent him. The constant anxiety? Just stress. The feeling of emptiness despite his achievements? Just ungrateful thinking. The distance growing between him and everyone he loved? Just the price of ambition. But your mind keeps receipts, and eventually it presents the bill. You might be thinking, but Marcus had success. He was winning. Keep watching, because what happened next changed everything he thought he knew about winning. It happened on a Tuesday. Marcus was giving a presentation to executives, the biggest pitch of his career. Halfway through his third slide, his mind went blank. Not forgot what to say blank, complete shutdown blank. The room started spinning. His chest tightened like a vice. He couldn't breathe. He excused himself, stumbled to the bathroom, and collapsed against the wall, gasping for air, convinced he was dying. The paramedics said it was a severe panic attack. The doctor said it was burnout. But the truth, it was 3 years of neglected mental health finally demanding to be heard. Marcus took medical leave. For the first time in a decade, he had to stop. And in that silence, he saw the wreckage clearly. His girlfriend had left 6 months prior, tired of dating a ghost. His best friend had stopped calling after too many canceled plans. His parents worried about him, but felt like strangers. He'd missed his nephew's birth, his sister's wedding rehearsal, and countless moments that mattered because he was too busy building his future. He'd been so focused on building a life that he forgot to live one. The cruel irony? All that success he'd sacrificed for was built on sand. His work performance had been declining for months. His creativity was gone. His decision-making was impaired. The thing he thought he was protecting by ignoring his mental health was the very thing his neglect was destroying. Now here's where most stories either end in tragedy or some magical overnight transformation. But Marcus's story, it's different, and it might save your life. Marcus made a choice, not to quit, not to run away, but to rebuild, this time foundation first. He started therapy, not because he was broken, but because even the strongest buildings need maintenance. He learned that mental health isn't something you fix once, it's something you tend to daily, like physical health. He discovered that his anxiety wasn't a weakness to hide, it was information to understand. His body had been screaming warnings he'd learned to ignore, and now he was finally learning to listen. The changes were small at first, 10 minutes of meditation each morning, actual lunch breaks away from his desk, saying no to meetings that could be emails, turning off his phone after 8 p.m., calling his sister just to talk, not because he needed something. But small changes compound. Within 6 months, something remarkable happened. His productivity didn't decrease when he worked fewer hours. It skyrocketed. His creativity, which had been dormant for years, came roaring back. He got promoted, not despite taking care of his mental health, but because of it. But here's the real transformation. Marcus stopped measuring his worth by his output. He realized that his value as a human being wasn't conditional on his achievements, that rest wasn't laziness, that vulnerability wasn't weakness, that asking for help wasn't failure. He reconnected with his family. He started dating again, this time as a whole person, not a hollow achievement machine. He mentored young professionals, teaching them what he wished someone had taught him. Success without mental health is just a prettier prison. So what's the hidden cost of neglecting your mental health? Keep watching for the answer that might change your life. The hidden cost of neglecting your mental health isn't just anxiety or depression or burnout, though those are devastating enough. The hidden cost is the life you never live. It's the relationships that wither while you're too busy. It's the creativity that dies while you're running on empty. It's the peace you never feel, the joy you stop experiencing, the version of yourself you never become because you're too exhausted to grow. It's working for a future that never feels like it arrives because you're too depleted to enjoy it when it does. It's achieving everything you thought you wanted and feeling nothing. Marcus learned that mental health isn't separate from success, it's the foundation of it. Every goal you chase, every dream you build, every relationship you value sits on the foundation of your mental well-being. Neglect that foundation and everything eventually crumbles. But here's the good news, it's never too late to start. You don't need to hit rock bottom like Marcus did. You don't need to wait for the panic attack, the breakdown, the moment when your body forces you to stop. You can choose differently right now. Your mental health is not a luxury to tend to when everything else is handled. It's the prerequisite for handling everything else. Take the lunch break, go to therapy, set the boundary, ask for help, rest without guilt. Your mind is the most valuable asset you'll ever own, and unlike your car, your house, or your phone, you can't trade it in for a new one. Marcus's story isn't special because he overcame. It's special because he's still here to tell it, because he chose to listen before it was too late. So what about you? What is your mind trying to tell you right now that you're ignoring? What will it cost you if you wait one more year to listen? This is your wake-up call, not from me, from the part of you that's been trying to get your attention, the part that's tired, that needs rest, that needs help, that needs you to finally prioritize it. You owe yourself that much, because the life you're building isn't worth living if you're not healthy enough to live it.